Hey guys, welcome to the TARBUS. Let's kick off this evening's show with a box that showed up in the mail from, let's see, just halfway across the state here in Winter Haven, Mr. Irick. Mr. Irick, if that really is your name. Thank you, sir. I do appreciate it. What do we have here? I as usual, have sliced it open before I got the camera going. And these are books. Let's see what we got. All right. Angels 3-6, Confessions of a Cold War Fighter Pilot. You know I'm going to enjoy that. Nuvolari, about Tazio Nuvolari. And I wasn't told it's pronounced Tazio. I have the little immense miniatures figure up here by the GTO. Many people consider him the greatest race car driver there ever was. And I was warned that after I read this book, I may have to go and change the figure. Let's see, or, modify the clothing. Not entirely sure what that means yet, if he was, but I'll find out. Let's see. Beyond Blue Skies, the rocket plane programs that led to the space age, one of my favorite subjects. Well, Mr. Irick, I appreciate that immensely. And now, on to the next segment of the show after this commercial break. Hi, are you a model builder that's afraid your own models will come to life and attack you some night? If so, you need to get Max the Model Melter. Yes, Max the Model Melter. He can take out kaiju, armor, and aircraft at any range with his melting model ray. Max the Model Melter, to make sure you stay safe in case your models go bad. Model melting ray gun sold separately, batteries not included. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the TARBUS, where it's just about closing time. We're approaching the dining hour. So what did I get done? Well, first off, about 5:30 this afternoon, I went for another walk and thought, what the heck? Everybody seemed to enjoy my little impromptu chat last time. It's another beautiful evening. Why not share it with the world? So let's go back to 5:30 Max and let him chat to you, and I'll see you when you get back. I'll be here, I promise. Well, hello, Glue Troopers, and yesterday's little walk seemed to be fairly popular, so I just thought I'd do it again. Nice thing about this Osmo is I can move my arm a little bit and the camera stays fairly steady, and I can switch hands. Just another glorious day down here in North Florida, and I thought I would talk about what I did since yesterday, because kind of backpedaled a little bit on one of my decisions. I figure, I run a YouTube channel on building models. The least I can do is build a decent one. And the more I looked at that picture of Kit, the more it just started to grind on me. And I'm like, I'm just being lazy, staying away from it. I didn't really work on it last night. I came out this morning, did that little bit of work making the front end on the car. When I came back from our stuff we had to do today, I snuck out to the TARBUS and I started etching out the slits for where the little bumper lights go on the car, and it was still a little, the putty had hardened on the outside, but the inside, as soon as I started moving, you can see it start to bulge. I was like, okay, stop, be patient. I'm gonna have to give that probably 3-4 days to harden up properly, just because there's a fair amount of putty in there and I don't want to screw this up. So that literally is on the shelf for a few days, and I started working on some other parts, getting his innards ready and his instrument panel and all that stuff, getting it all decaled. But then I looked at kit and I was like, nah, no, unacceptable. So out came the sanding sticks and the stripper and the putty, and I got most of the paint off. I'm just the hood and the front end, that's all I'm doing. I still have plenty of that Muddle Master black gloss left. And so once I got all those layers of paint off and everything, got back to the plastic, I used a little bit of the Tamiya putty to apparently when I built it, the headlight covers had sunk just enough that I couldn't really get in there to sand them down. So I screwed it, troweled a little putty over them, and I'll sand all that out once it hardens in a day or so. So both of those models are pretty much on the shelf. So okay, sounds good. Then I've been wanting to work on that little Lindbergh stencil. I'm like, let's do something a little low key here. And it's one of the old kits that doesn't have any glass or anything. The windows are just imprinted on it. And I also, by the way, washed a couple of other models. I'm getting ready to plan to do that Revell pickup truck that I bought. I got that because somebody said, you've got to do a Revell pickup truck. They're really great. So I got that fleet side, and I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do that, what was it, 69 Olds 442 that was sent to me. And so I went ahead and decided, just to be safe, because it can have an impact. Although I know modern mold techniques, you really don't have to wash the models, but I decided to go ahead and give them a quick soapy water brush and rinse. And I did the Lindbergh kit while I was at it, that little Stinson 108, and sure enough, there I found all this stuff inside there. Apparently somebody is dated 1976. So 45 years ago, some modeler decided to go through all this trouble to make an interior for it. I guess he was planning to etch out the windows and make an interior for the model, but I guess he never got to it. But I was like, I find these little handwritten artifacts in the box. I was like, holy smokes. And some pretty nicely, given that were just the kind of doodles they were, not doodles, you know, that they weren't exactly engineering drawings, but they certainly had that flavor to them. I was impressed with the craftsmanship that just went into making these little drawings for the plans. He even had cut out a paper panel. Part of me thought about, hey, that might not be a bad idea, but I was like, no. I literally started this to do an easy build, and sure enough, there goes the deep dive. I'm not going down that rabbit hole, but I am going to save the man's drawings. Well, I say the man, I assume it's a man, but the person's drawings. And it's just, the thing is, it's dated 1976. I mean, it's like a little archaeological find. My wife and I just watched that movie, The Dig, last night, about just right at the outbreak of World War II, where they found all of those Anglo-Saxon ruins in the UK. And here I am opening this box and finding what is kind of my own little archaeological find. You know, of course, it's 45 years old, not 1,400 years old, but still, you know, it's just somewhere, possibly still out there today, is some model builder who made all these plans. And it's just, you kind of stumble onto that. And anyway, I thought it was kind of cool, you know. And when he was making those drawings, it was the bicentennial year here in the good old US of A. We painted just about everything red, white, and blue. And we just gotten out of Vietnam. We're actually, Vietnam had just fallen the year before. I mean, it was a different world. Back then, you didn't want to get caught with the dreaded marijuana, and now they're selling it at dispensaries everywhere. I mean, you know, times change. So anyway, so after finding that little discovery and washing up the model, I did a little other tinkering, and then I decided it was time to come out and do my walk. But so there was something else I want to tell you about. Now, there are a handful of YouTube channels I talk about from time to time, probably quasi regularly. Okay, beep. On my channel, John Kitt Scale Car Garage, Mike Mashat Celebrating Aviation with Mike Mashat, and a few others, because they're just really great websites, or YouTube channels, I mean. And there are some websites I shout out a lot, like Scale Nates and Box Art Den and Hink of Holland. and old model kits, because I use a lot of their images because they let me, and I just like to keep showing appreciation for that. Well, anyway, Mike Mashat put out another great video today on the history of the 707, which I'll link below. And if you're any kind of an aviophile, you're going to enjoy it. And I like his extremely well-informed and well-produced videos, partly because he always includes all what I personally deem all the necessary stuff, including some of the lesser known stuff, but he never goes down rabbit holes like I do. So one of the things he talked about was the 707, how they had, you know, the early ones couldn't hop the pond. They actually got beaten by the British de Havilland 4 Comet. And it was I think a 707-320 that was able to finally go against the wind without stopping. And I was wondering if he was going to include that, and he did, because it just kind of shows you how early jet aviation had, you know, it was still had a ways to go. But the reason I bring that up is he also talked about how they had problems with, back in those days, a lot of airliners, a lot of airports, they still boarded out on the ramp. And he shows how engine thrust on taxi was a big problem because they could blow stuff over, and the jet engines were new. In fact, that's still a problem today. We actually have, when I did my OE at my current carrier, we were told, and you know, when you're on the ramp area, never get above 45% N1, which is the turbine speed of your the big frontal compressor turbine in percent, and never go above 45%, so you don't blow anything over. And if you're super heavy or going up a hill and you can't roll on one engine before, then start the other engine. And believe me, 45% on both engines, you'll roll. But that wasn't, sorry, there I am going down a rabbit hole. That wasn't what I meant to bring up. What I meant to bring up is that in, when it comes to planes, trains, and automobiles, I've kind of realized there's two kinds of people. There are those who are in love with the stuff. Pilots love airplanes. You know, most of us guys, we build models. We love cars. We love trains. The idea of boarding an airplane on the ramp, we love, because, oh, you get to see the whole airplane. You're not just walking out of a tube and out of a square tube and getting into a round tube. You can actually see the machine. We appreciate the machine for what it is itself. And then there's the other bunch of people who it's just a mode of transportation. They could care less. They don't even know what kind of airplane they're on or car they're in, and they don't care. And I'm not passing a judgment on either one. One of my old buddies, the one I made the wagons for, the stagecoach for, and still need to take his wagons to him. Hopefully we can do that in April. Again, rabbit hole, tangent, Captain Tangent at your service. He was telling me that he really, because he's an old Army aviator, he preferred, you know, I always like it when, you know, he liked flying on commuter airliners, regional airliners. He liked props. He liked boarding out on the ramp where you see the whole airplane, you know, the whole experience. And I'm the same way. Obviously when the weather's inclement, you know, there's that. But still, I used to hear passengers complain all the time about, you know, when we had to park on a ramp, and especially in the regionals, because we did it most of the time there. And you'd hear people complain about, you know, oh, we were flying the little plane, and we had to get off on there and walk in the wind and the rain, and and then, but the kids that are with them are usually the ones who go, oh, wow, look, and they want to stare at the airplane and take pictures and have their picture taken up in the cockpit, which makes me realize that at some level, I think most of us model builders are still just kids. And I say that as a good thing. But anyway, try not to be bumper bait here. And I think that's one reason I like that Glencoe Viscount. I think it's an old Hawk kit, was because it actually came with the air stair and some flight attendants and passengers boarding and everything. And see if I can find a picture of the one I built that I had in my apartment back when I was a CRJ captain for Mesa Airlines up in Columbus, Ohio. Had a little, it was an efficiency apartment with a Murphy bed. I mean, it was literally a box with a toilet, a kitchen, and kitchenette. And I either had a bedroom or a living room, depending on if the bed was up or down. And I built a P-50, the Dingwa, the 148 scale B model Revell monogram P-51, the Glencoe Viscount, and a Gloucester Gladiator. I forget who made the Gladiators. Pretty good kit. Lindbergh, was it? Anyway, so I just thought that was that's how I pass the time up there. I might still have some pictures of them. Well, anyway, guys, that completes my little exercise walk for my hip, and not to mention a little blood rolling today. And now I'm doing my regular physical therapy, so I won't bore you guys with that. Talk at you later. And now back to your regularly scheduled program. Oh, you're back. Well, let's see. After I got back, I did do a little more work. Actually, the work on kit had hardened nicely. I really hadn't used that much putty just to smooth it out. And I went ahead and I decided to brush paint it with a couple of nice coats of that Model Master gloss black, and it looks a lot better. It's not perfect, but I got rid of a lot of the blemishes, so I think I salvaged that. Have you ever noticed about 40% of my build videos are me talking about how I unscrewed myself from a situation I screwed myself into, which I would imagine is probably common to model builders. But here with car, it's actually not looking bad. I mean, it's still in the primitive stage. I've got once this is done hardening, I did etch a wee bit more out, but I'm going to give this a few days to truly harden, go in there, and then of course there'll be a repaint. I did get most of the inside done today and everything. Wasn't really that hard. Once I get that done, I'll put the spoiler on it, or and attach it to the body. Then once that hardens up, I'll get the glass in it and decaling, and that'll kind of more or less be it, clear coat it and everything. That'll pretty much be it. I'm using the tinted smoked windows on both of them. I did put a primer coat on the figurine, so that will, I'll be getting started on that soon. I started the little Lindbergh line Stinson, and well, I'm sorry, I already told you about that during the walk. So I did go ahead and put the body halves together when I got back. It's missing its wing struts, which isn't a big deal. I can fabricate those easily enough. That's interesting, and it's just intriguing. You find these things that if the former owner put in decades before, that still kind of grabs me a little bit. The Waddell Williams, I got the body halves together. I didn't really do anything on that or the GB today. I guess I can go ahead and mask off the GB, put the wings in, putty them, let that harden, and then probably start painting. So that's, again, not really a front burner issue. I'm more focused on the cars right now. Let's see. I did pull out the two cars I mentioned, the truck and the car. The 66 Fleet Side and the 69 442, and I'd really I don't think washing them was probably necessary, but I feel better about it now, and that's a nice body shell. So what have I got open right now? Just let's take a quick inventory. We got kit and car, and the Hoff figurine. I went ahead and pulled out the little Max the builder, and he's like, "Oh no, I have to build my little space vehicle," but he doesn't count. That's something else. So let's see. We got the kit and car and the figurine, the GB, the Waddell Williams, the Fleet Side, and the 442. So we have 5 kits open. Oh, I'm sorry, the Stinson. So that makes 6. If I get a chance tomorrow, I'm going to have to spend some time tidying this place up, because I'm starting to get a lot of clutter build up and things are starting to get in each other's way. So, but hey, not a big deal, right? Well, guys, I guess that's pretty much it for this evening. I'll go ahead and get this thing edited and get it out into the world. Oh, I knew there was something rattling around in this empty shell up here. I got the okay from high command to do the live stream on Saturday. So provided nothing unforeseen gets in the way, I will plan on the live stream at 2 p.m. East Coast time. That'll be 1900 Zulu, if I believe. And that way it might be a little easier for people across the pond to go see it. That Saturday, 2 p.m. East Coast time. Well, that's it, guys. You have a wonderful evening. We'll talk at you later. And thanks to the magic of the interweb, I can send these tidings of good joy across the cosmosphere. I just love being me. Model on.